All right, y'all, welcome back to another video here. We are talking about turbos and blowers today because everyone loves boost. So as you guys know, historically I am a turbo guy, but I do like the sound of a crank-driven blower and a set of zoomies, so that's always cool. You guys don't know what's going on with this build. This is the Blizzard build. I got the car as a rolling chassis, had Mensers on all four corners, built 8.8, tubular front suspension. It was originally set up with a mod motor, 25.5 chassis, came with everything but a front end. It had steel doors with roll-up optic armor in, which I'm going to be selling those. I already sold the deck lid and the wing off the back. So if you guys are interested in a set of steel doors that are in pretty good condition that have roll-up optic armor, hit me up because I have those for sale, like $500 you can get them, which I think that's like the price of just the optic armor. So you get optic armor installed with a set of free doors. Switched over, going LS now, and we also switched over from a Power Glide to a 400. So we got the 2-speed 400 sitting in there. That's my custom transmission mount until it heads over to the chassis shop. So the setup is we got a 460 cubic inch LSX block, Frankenstein heads, TCAM performance at all the machine work. It's got a Dragon Slayer crank, MGP rods, custom set of TKM, Wiseco, or I think it might be Diamond, fully skirted pistons, Frankenstein F110S heads, T&D rocker arm, solid roller, custom TKM camshaft. It's a bad son of a gun. I got a Cathedral Port style Texas Speed 4500 intake manifold, Holley elbow, and Holley throttle body. So that's the power plant. How we're going to make all that power is with one of these. Crank-driven F1X blower. This is the exact blower that I use in the burnout contest. And the burnout contest put a stock 6-liter in a Colorado with a motor plate, bolted the blower up to it, and then we hit the road. Now, some things have changed. We're going from like casual LS motor to full-blown race motor, and we need to drive some other things off of it and change up the balancer, and it is an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
You want me to hold the camera for you?
Do you want to hold the camera for me? Phil feels bad. Why do you feel bad, Phil?
Because you look like shit, you sound like shit, and I'm sure your arms are tired.
God, do I look that rough today?
Yeah, you look very rough.
Yesterday was a rough day.
You look like somebody's dad that's disappointed in their child because they just lost their first like soccer tournament or something.
It got real quick. Phil came in here and just brought me down a few notches. All right, so if you guys want an action-packed video, just go back and click on one of the Boosted Rooster videos. I don't know what to tell you. This right here, I'm going to try to take some of my stress and put it onto you guys so I don't have to do it by myself. How the blower stuff works with a crank-driven blower is you bolt it to the motor somehow. Thankfully on this block, the LSX block, all these bolt holes directly bolt to the block. Before, on a stock block, a bunch of them were hanging off and I had to build a bracket to go to the motor plate, so that really sucked. But this, we're good to go. It's built, the blower setup is built to have a 3/8 thick motor plate, so we're good to go. Spacing's fine there. It's set up for a balancer that does not use this hub. So this hub right here has a 28 tooth drive off the back, which you can run an oil pump or fuel pump. It's pretty good. I like it. Some people run a mandrel off the front of the balancer. On the LS stuff, I like this. You can run a little bit thicker belt, and then it works great with the Aviate fuel pumps or oil pump setup. So that's what we're running. So let's just start off there. Before, on like stock LS motors, they run an internal oil pump, which is good. We quickly run out of the performance that a factory style oil pump will do. We put the Melling oil pump in there. Still, we have oil pressure issues. So we go to an Aviate external oil pump. I got 2 external oil pumps right here. This is what they look like. It is just literally a pulley.
It looks like an external dry fuel pump.
This is one here that has a hex drive in the back for a fuel pump, so you bolt the fuel pump right up there. That's the setup that I like. These are like some old SCP, what's that, Streetcar Products oil pumps. So if you guys are on the market for some oil pumps, I got these 2 used ones, which I'm not using. But yeah, so what you do is John over at Aviate, he sells a really nice one that bolts to the block, and then you just essentially cut your motor plate out, and then it would set up perfect. He's got the right pulley and everything. It comes with a belt, so you can order the whole kit. Makes it super easy. But on this, obviously, we have these big blower stands here. So, you know, with the belt coming off, we don't know where it's going to go. So I can't just order the kit from John over at Aviate. I have to get the pump, and then I have to get a different mounting bracket. So I'm going to get a blade where it's got a bolt hole. So essentially I can cut the motor plate out anywhere and place it as high or low as I want to, but the blade itself has a bolt hole and then has a slot so you can clock it. So essentially you get the belt on, then you pull it tight, you tighten up all the top and bottom bolt, and it allows it to not move, and that's how you tension it. No tension or anything like that. The reason why I have to do that is because I don't know how I'm going to get the belt. I got this stand in the way and I got this stand in the way, and the bracket itself here will clear, but I'm going to have to try to put the oil pump up high enough where I can run the bottom of the belt between the two and the top of the belt over the top. How's this sounding so far?
Very complicated.
Very complicated. We are just getting into it. I'm running my fuel pump drive off the back, so then I have to worry about if I mount it too high, I have to be able to put a fitting on there, and I need to be able to feed it from my fuel tank.
I think you're just overcomplicating this.
I'm not trusting.
Can we just not put a turbo on this car?
That's where we're getting at with this video. Is the turbo stuff easier?
Yes.
No, I'm not going turbo.
Well, the turbo would be easier had. No, the blower would be easier
had it not had to do all this.
Yeah, if you had not to do all this. Yeah.
But unfortunately, you have to do all this shit.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm going at. This is where the discussion is: a turbo better or is a blower better? Everyone's like turbos are more expensive. Like at the end, they're really not.
Actually, not. This is more expensive.
This is getting more expensive. So all right. So that's just like step one. Okay, we have to figure out how we're going to mount the oil pump or fuel pump. Maybe I can mount it low enough where I can run the top through here.
I mean,
the bottom
Shannon
through
is
here.
hanging this fuel pump below his crank pulley, facing backwards. Had I seen Shannon's setup, well, you can't do it on this because the blower's going to be in the way.
I wonder if the blower's out far enough, I can run a cam-driven fuel pump.
Fuel pump or oil pump?
Fuel pump. And
So
then, well, I still have to do the oil pump.
Oil pump, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the oil pump's not really. The oil pump provides some good suction, so you can. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. We're just gonna stick it over
Just
here.
run the oil pump off the flywheel.
The oil pump's either gonna go high or low.
It's gonna have to go high. It's gonna go have to be higher than the stand.
Or I run it low and I run the top of the belt through there and the bottom of the belt there.
Yeah, you can do that.
So I'll have options, but it's either going to be here or it's going to be here. If you go down too low, then you worry about, like, if you wheelie, you can't mess up your oil pump. You can't do it. You mess up your oil pump, your motor's done. So you got to put your oil pump in a very safe, good spot where you're not going to have any failures. And the oil pump needs to be mounted very securely. That's why the bad apples all tore apart, because we took that thing to the dyno, and the way the oil pump was mounted, it was literally shaking and the belt was sliding back and forth. Like, dude, your oil pump falls off, the belt falls off your oil pump, your motor's done. I don't care what safeties you got, your motor's done. So that sucks. All right, so we got our oil pump, fuel pump issue figured out. Like I said, we're gonna get the oil pump from Aviate. I got an Enderley like 990 pump that bolts onto the back of it, and then you run your lines. So all that stuff, I'm hoping I can put it down low enough that I can run the zoom, or maybe I'll put it up high enough and run the zoomies underneath it. I don't know. Mind you, I still have to build zoomies. That's another issue.
Come out the hood. Oh, you can't because it's a brake booster anyway. So.
God, there's gonna be so much shit under here.
This is like a long-term project. This has become the salty chicken.
So then, let's talk about blower spacing. So the blower was set up for a different balancer that didn't have this drive on there, and then we also have to figure out how we're going to.
This is the drive.
How are we going to run our crank pickup? So you have to run a flying magnet setup or a Hall effect setup or something like that. These generally bolt on the front of the balancer. So this is a small block Ford balancer. As you can see, it slides on there. You put your sensor right there, and then you're good to go. This is the coupler for the blower. As you can see, it's countersunk to fit with the balancer. And then we're going to go and we're going to stack it all together, which in theory should work because this. All right, well, I can't get the bolt holes to line up, but we're not bolting it to it. All that stuff is hub-centric, so in theory it should work. But now we just added more real estate to the spacing of the blower. So before, if this would sit inside the balancer, just like that, right inside the balancer shell, and be hub-centric. Now we're going to space it out that much more. So We just had to move the blower out even more.
Oh, we already cut the stands.
Well, we already cut the stands because we went to a shorter blower. I like having everything as snug to the motor as possible because you have less deflection. But now we have to add some back. So these blower stands are like 4 point... What are they? They're like... I think they're just about at 4 inches even. They're 4.2 inches. I measured them yesterday. They're 4.25 inches. Oh. We need to add 1.12 inches to them. So now, instead of just bolting the blower up and slapping the balancer on there and get ready to go, I got to call Kyle from New Era. I say, Kyle, I need to make some new stands. I'm going to take these stands off, send them to him. He's going to have to make these stands 1.12 inches longer to give me a total of 5.37. Math. I got it right. You guys were on me because I got the weekends in October wrong, but I just did math like that. And it's early, and I'm feeling like hell.
You got COVID?
No, I don't have COVID.
You sure?
Yes.
All right, thanks.
It's called allergies, bud.
Oh, my God.
All right, so once we get that stuff figured out, then you could bolt the blower up to it, and we should be good to go. So that's our oil pump, fuel pump, and everything. And then, after all that, you have to worry about, hey, don't ram the blower off the high side rev limiter and mess the gear drive up. So after saying it all out loud, it sounds like the blower stuff's really not the move.
Yeah.
Over under on how many times we run this car with a blower before I say, all right, let's put turbo on it.
About a total of 4 times.
You think?
Yeah.
You think that little?
Yeah. And 2 of those are just the startups.
You think I'm going to take it to the track 2 times and be like, oh, screw this, let's put turbo on it?
Yeah. Blower, there's a reason why Randy went to a turbo.
Yeah, we have 38 turbo cars.
Because turbo's to the front. Hashtag turbo life.
I was just trying to do something different here. I'm going for the sound. I'm going for the shock and awe with this one. All right.
So it's not going to be fast.
No, I mean, it'll be fast. I think this car will go 430s. If I can go 430s with this car, I'll be happy. I'm not going to try to go any faster.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so 430s is the cap. That's it. We go 430s. Imagine sticking someone in here and going 430.
Oh, man, I just lost my flip-flop.
Oh, shit. All right, well, I think that that wraps up my discussion. This is my, what's today, Wednesday? Thursday?
Thursday.
This is my Thursday morning stress session. I know you guys asked to see a couple freakouts on video. You guys might see one this weekend, depending on what happens. But
what do you mean this weekend?
We're going to Red Springs, Thunder Valley, 28's Gone Wild.
Another one?
Yeah, Saturday. Be there at like 2. Racing will probably start at like 3 or 4. And then the Black Sheep is going to try to win another 28's Gone Wild. So we got the whole like shutting off issue, I think, figured out. I got to wire something in today, and then we should be good to go. So Red Springs, Thunder Valley, 28's Gone Wild. Definitely want to be there.
Are you going to go test today?
We're going to go to Fayetteville
today
with the cow. We're going to hang out tomorrow, and then Saturday we're going to go to the track.
So am I going to get to drive the cow finally?
Maybe.
Oh
maybe
my God.
Phil
Dude, just let me drive the cow. God.
More importantly than Phil
if
drive
this
the
video
cow,
gets 300 likes, I get to drive the cow.
if this video gets 1,000 likes, you get to drive the cow indefinitely.
We know that's not going to happen. 1,000 people don't like you. They just watch your content.
More importantly than how many people like me, October 22nd and 23rd, we're doing a $20,000 small tire shootout at Thunder Valley, Red Springs, North Carolina. You guys don't want to miss it. Friday night, we have a gamblers race that you guys can get into, and then the top 2 finals, really, in that race are going to advance to the 32-car shootout for $20,000 on Saturday. But there is still going to be some good money to win on Friday. We're going to do a $4,000 stock block shootout Friday, and then we got an Outlaw Street class on Saturday, which is going to be great as well. We're trying to get more of the street-ish style cars, a lot of cars that fall into that all steel, all glass category. Stock front suspension, they got a factory style dash in there.
Hey, all steel, all glass is making like a huge comeback.
Yeah, dude, it's getting badass. So be on the lookout for that. October 22nd, 23rd. You're not going to want to miss that. And then next week, we're going to start the LS Nasty Experience, which is an opportunity for you guys to win a trip down here. We're going to fly down here, drive you down here, whatever it takes to get you down here. You're going to hang out with us. You're going to crew with us. You're going to be in the shop sweating with us. You'll probably see one of my freakouts in person. Because you guys are asking for that.
My arms are glistening right now.
Yeah, Phil's. There's no airflow. We got no fans
There's
on.
no fans right now.
Rack of ribs, Phil, into the chat. And then, so you get to come down and get to ride in one of the race cars, which I think is, like, awesome. So we're literally going to strap you in a 4-second car and let go of the button, and you're probably gonna cry like a little girl. So
I'm gonna need a Bosley subscription now.
yeah, we're gonna move whoever's coming down here, gonna move your hairline back.
So just shave it.
Yeah, I mean, come down here bald if you ain't ready to get your hairline moved. If you got long hair, bro, you're done. It's gonna be back here.
I'm gonna give you a mullet.
with no party up front.
With no party up front. It's all business.
Sorry, no business. No
all,
business up front. It's gonna be all party.
Maybe Jason Harris to come out and hang out.
Why? Is that like a
party
balding,
time?
Is that a balding joke?
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Comment, subscribe, I'm gonna edit this video, get it out to you. If you guys have any recommendations on what we got going on with this setup, please let me know. I want to give a huge shout out to Quartermax. They hooked us up with this motor plate. They have it CNC'd to the cylinder head, which is super nice. We had an issue where we couldn't get to sit flush against the block, so now everything is looking good there. Really, we're kind of at the end of like the figuring everything out. The oil pump, fuel pump setup I think is going to work fine. I already talked to Kyle at New Air to get some new stands, and then we should be able to bolt everything up and everything be good to go. So.
Oh, and I'm gonna fix your balancer today too.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday I was in a rush. I dropped the ball yesterday.
Let me tell you about this. I broke 2 Allen keys off in this balancer because I couldn't get it out, and I was like, Phil's going to TK. I'm like, hey, take this up there. They'll get that out in a second. I knew Phil wasn't going to get the job done, so as soon as he left, I called and ordered another one. I didn't tell you this.
Wow.
Because I knew Phil was going to drop the ball.
Wow,
so then,
no faith.
So then I called him later that day, kind of like a loaded question. I was like, hey, Phil, how'd the balancer go? He's like, oh, man, I forgot about it. And I was like, damn, I got to get off the phone. I really wasn't even upset, but I just wanted to make Phil feel bad. So I hung up. And then I come in today, and Phil's like, hey, let me hold the camera for you, and I'm going to fix that balancer. So my plan worked great. But, yeah, I do have a new balancer on the way to get that shit figured out. So. I got you, Phil.
I hate you.
He get to buy this round. John Doc got to buy this round. The black sheep on the property. He got to buy for the next round.